Hi guys, it's Simon. Welcome to this new AI Radar. In the last issue of his newsletter, The Batch, Ng writes how he believes that the open letter recently published by futureoflife.org calling on artificial intelligence developers to pause giant AI experiments for at least 6 months, which was signed by Elon Musk, Steve Wozniak, and several thousand others, and he calls an ill-advised proposal for a 6-month pause in cutting-edge AI research has received too much attention, indicating that the AI domas have a better handle on the narrative around AI than the AI optimists. While most of the AI community focuses on building useful systems that help and empower people, says Ang, the AI domas have captured the popular imagination and stoked widespread fear with their dire predictions about losing control of superintelligent systems. Ng argues that the AI community should stay the course and continue building products that will help and empower people, rather than giving in to fear-based arguments to slow progress in the field. And Yang believes that the proposal premises with respect to AI's potential for harm are sensationalistic and unrealistic, and the pause in development would be unworkable and do little good. He argues that stoking fears about speculative risks does more harm than good, distracts us from the real and present risks that we should be working on, and the risks slowing down further progress in AI that would be very beneficial. He urges the artificial intelligence community to stand up for a realistic view of this incredibly important technology and help people understand that AI is empowering people even as we work to mitigate the real risks. Andrew Ng and Meta's Yann LeCun also joined forces to elaborate their views on that 6-month pause on a video published on Deep Learning AI's channel, and that VentureBeat reported about on an article. In their discussion, Ng and LeCun agreed that some regulation was necessary, but not at the expense of research and innovation. They argued that a pause on developing and deploying these models was unrealistic and counterproductive. They also called for more collaboration and transparency among researchers, governments and corporations to ensure the ethical and responsible use of these models.
Well, my first reaction to this is that calling for a delay in research and development smacks me of a new wave of obscurantism, essentially. Like, why slow down the progress of knowledge and science? Then there is the question of products. Like, I'm all for regulating products that gets in the hands of people. I don't see the point of regulating research and development. I don't think this serves any purpose other than reducing the knowledge that we could use to actually make technology better, safer also.
Some users showed their interest to hear these highly esteemed machine learning researchers discussing this with other AI researchers who signed the letter, provided the formers are available for confrontation. Along the same line, Bill Gates told Reuters that AI moratorium wouldn't solve the challenges facing the industry, as it is difficult to grasp how a global pause would work and whether every country would agree to it. Instead, Gates suggests focuses on properly using artificial intelligence as it develops and identifying the tricky areas, despite acknowledging its huge benefits. China's internet regulator has released a draft law that requires new generative products to undergo security reviews and ensure that its created content reflects core socialist values and avoids subversion. The law also bans AI generated content containing hate speech or any content that could disrupt social or economic order. The purpose of the law is to promote the healthy development and standardized application of AI technology. The draft requires Chinese companies to submit their generative AI technology for official security assessment before being used to serve the public. The law prohibits models from outputting false information and requires that training data doesn't discriminate on the basis of ethnicity, race, or gender, with AI content required to be labeled clearly. Failure to comply could result in suspension of services, fines, or criminal investigations, making this one of the strictest measures for generative AI so far. In the last issue of Fortune's AI on AI newsletter, David Meyer remembers that while former CEO Eric Schmidt worried that the 6-month pause in the aforementioned AI proposal would only benefit China, here is China implement its own self-limitations. The announcement of AI models by Baidu, Alibaba, and SenseTime have put pressure on Beijing to ensure legal normalization of innovation in generative AI. The CEO of Alibaba Group, Daniel Zhang, says that generative AI and cloud technology have brought the world to a technology watershed moment, with businesses across all sectors embracing intelligence transformation to stay ahead of the game. State-run media in China is warning against excessive hype, on the other hand, and is calling for an orderly market with standards for information disclosure to support the long-term development of AI. So, despite recent revelations, Baidu, Alibaba Group, and SenseTime saw their share prices drop due to tension between international competitiveness and control by the CCP, Chinese Communist Party. Thus, this may mean additional challenges for Chinese companies already facing Western sanctions that curtail access to powerful hardware needed for AI innovation. The article suggests that the China threat is not a solid argument against the rest of the world taking a breather to figure out its regulatory responses to generative AI. Researchers from Stanford and Google created a virtual town simulation inspired by The Sims, populated by ChatGPT powered agents that interacted as humans would through a complex and hidden text layer. The experiment aimed to see if advances in machine learning models could produce generative agents that output realistic actions in response to their circumstances. This paper introduces generative agents, computational software agents that simulate believable human behavior and can empower interactive applications ranging from immersive environments to rehearsal spaces for interpersonal communication to prototyping tools. The authors demonstrate the effectiveness of this approach through an evaluation in which a small town of 25 agents specifically autonomously organize and attend a Valentine's Day party. The paper describes an architecture that extends a large model to allow agents to store, synthesize, and retrieve their experiences and reflect on them to plan behavior. Component analysis shows that each part of the architecture is critical to the believability of agent behavior. The research demonstrates also that the potential power of using large language models with computational interactive agents for simulating human behavior. The research paper, Generative Agents, Interactive Simulacra of Human Behavior, hasn't yet been peer-reviewed, but the findings have implications for simulation of human interactions, particularly in games and virtual environments. OpenAI has announced a bug bounty program that offers cash rewards to people who identify bugs in its AI services, including ChatGPT. Rewards range from $200 for low severity findings to $20,000 for exceptional discoveries. The company is asking the public to report vulnerabilities, security flaws, and other bugs within ChatGPT, its API, and new OpenAI plugins. OpenAI notes that it won't upset certain types of security challenges, such as getting the model to say bad things to you. The bug bounty program is an essential part of OpenAI's commitment to developing safe and advanced AI, and it is being managed by BugCrowd, a bug bounty platform designed to ensure a streamlined experience for all participants. Sony's semiconductor unit has made an undisclosed investment in Raspberry Pi to bring its Atrios edge computing artificial intelligence platform to developers and users of the pocket-sized computing platform. Raspberry Pi was originally designed as an educational platform, but has become popular with prototypers, particularly for Internet of Things devices at the network edge. The Atrios offering is a development platform for AI models that are powered by cameras and sensors and operate at the edge. The partnership aims to enhance the capabilities of Atrios and bring its edge AI capabilities to a global community of developers across industries for new AI powered edge applications. A group of researchers from Cornell and Stanford University conducted experiments in which they found using artificial intelligence generated response suggestions, smart replies can affect the emotional language used in human conversation and increase the likelihood of perceiving one's conversational partners as cooperative due to their positive sentiment. However, they also found that people are evaluated more negatively if suspected to be using algorithmic responses, consistent with common assumptions about the adverse effects of artificial intelligence. The researchers investigated the social consequences of the use of algorithmic response suggestions, which can improve communication speed and interpersonal perception but undermine the benefits of their use if perceived as antisocial. The researchers reported their findings in a paper recently published on Nature: Artificial Intelligence in Communication Impacts Language and Social Relationship. Okay guys, it's all for today. See you next time. Bye.